Hey guys, so just a quick video to demonstrate the radar controls and how I've got it all set up on the controller. So this guide is going to assume that you are using my controls or something very similar. So you'll find the radar controls under the aircraft heading directly under the weaponry, about a quarter of the way down. So you'll find 7 radar related bindings here, which you might think is a bit much, but I've managed to get mine down to 4 here. And if you don't want everything, so you could get this down even more, you could get this down to 2 basically, which I'll explain shortly. But basically we have left plus X for the radar on and off. Change radar mode, so this one had me pretty damn confused. I tried to research it, couldn't find any information. Tried it in game. Again, I couldn't get it to do anything. At least in the P61 and the F6F5N, which I have tested the radar with, it appears to do nothing at all. So just going to skip over this one. Change radar search mode, I've got this set to left plus circle. And basically what this one does is it changes the search range of your radar. So if you think of the radar operating in a pattern, like in a zigzag, from up to down, left to right, if you increase the radar search mode, so you change the radar search mode, it actually increases the vertical range of the radar. So you press this and it takes it longer to complete the scan. So again, if you think of this going from left to right in this zigzag motion, if you extend this, it takes it much longer to complete from left to right. So this gives you the benefit of an increased radar search radius, but at the same time it's going to be a lot slower for the radar to complete the search. So the downside is you may miss targets. Let's say the radar is scanning the left side, it's going to take a lot longer to get to the right. So if a plane's on the right, you may well miss that plane. So obviously this can have its advantages, but for the most part you're just going to be running this in the default search mode, so chances are you may never use this. You know, you could get away with leaving this one. You know, it's not essential for the radar, but it's there if you need it. I've set mine to left plus circle, just so I can say I've got a fully functional radar, but chances are, you know, I'm not really going to be using this. Change radar scope scale, this just changes the visual range of the radar, so the left visual cone shape you get on the left side of your screen. You've probably noticed the numbers on the left, so on the P61 for instance it starts at 3 kilometers I believe, and then if you increase this scale it goes up to 9 and 40 odd, so it pretty much just increases the range. You know, chances are you're going to be using this a lot. At the start of the battle you're going to be maxing out the range so you can see all the targets, and then as you get closer in you're going to want to scale this back down again. So definitely put this somewhere that's going to be easy to press. I've put mine on down plus left. You know, that's easy for me to take my thumb off the left stick and press pretty quick. Select radar target to lock on. Again, this one had me confused. I couldn't find much information on it, although I did find that it's supposed to highlight a target on the radar so you know which target you've selected and which one to follow. But in the F6, F5 and the P61 I couldn't get this to work. It could just be that those planes don't feature this. You know, it may be a more advanced radar feature that you get on the high tier jets like the Mitsubishi 22 or something similar. But yeah, I've just set mine to the left stick pressed in. You know, it's there if I need it. And besides, L3 is my regular target lock button again, so that's not going to take up any bindings at all there. You know, that's just a multi-function target button that I use for everything. So lock radar targets on. This one's pretty interesting. Namely the F6, F5N, possibly some of the high tier jets. So they get what's called a lock radar target. And what I mean by that is the radar calculates the lead distance away from the target, and it pretty much tells you where to shoot. So you'll get a visual indicator on screen, a bit like arcade where you get the lead indicator, and yeah, it just tells you where to shoot. So you could argue it doesn't really belong in this, it's more of an arcade mechanic. But then again, I did read up on this and it was a real thing. Towards the end of the war, this was actually made. Obviously it was a very basic target radar, but it did exist. So it's somewhat historically correct. Switch radar indicator type. So this is pretty much just aesthetic. On the left you've got the cone shape there. So pressing this changes it to the square view. Now it's purely visual, there's no advantage or disadvantage really, aside from the fact that the square one is a bigger visual representation. So you could argue you can see the targets better on that one. But at the same time it's going to take up more of your screen estate, so you may miss targets that are actually directly in front of you. It's going to obstruct your view a little bit more. So it's more personal preference, this one. Set it up if you want it there. Again, I've got mine just so I can say I've got the fully functional radar, and if I ever find I need this, it's there. So left plus triangle for this one. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the radar. You could get this down to 2 if you don't include the radar search mode. And you could also get rid of the switch radar indicator type. So if you got rid of those, you're down to just switching the radar on and off and changing the radar scope scale, which leaves you with 2. Because again, you can't include these 2 here. Like I said, these are just, L3, at least for me, is just a multifunction target button. So I use L3 for my regular target lock. So all I've got to remember is that it's my target lock button. Whether it's the radar or it's not the radar, it doesn't really matter. So you can't include these 2 in this. But yeah, fully functional radar, 4 buttons. Half functioning radar, just the basic radar, is 2. So whichever one you go for is up to you guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope this helps you guys. Thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe. I've got loads of videos planned. I'm going to try get back into tanks again. I know people are waiting on the tank controls that I was talking about recently. So I'm going to try and get back into that. Try and get it up in a week or 2. I also want to do some more plane footage with a few friends, try and get some co-op footage. And I would also like to put out another how-to video just to explain how to duel on the controller, because I still feel people are pretty vague on how you do this, even though I've put out all these videos. So I'll probably put a video out there, just slow things down, pause the video, explain what's happening, just so you guys understand everything and know how to play on the controller. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, so I couldn't quite leave the video just there. 1.91 just came out. They've got this HDR tone mapping they've added, which is supposed to improve the colours. And I figured I'd just show you my custom PostFX settings. I find these help a hell of a lot. If we switch to default colours, you'll see just how much brighter the default ones are. I mean, I literally cannot play with the default colour scheme. I feel like it just burns my retinas. 15 minutes of playing in this and, I feel like I don't want to play anymore. So I prefer the more subtle look of the game. I feel it's more realistic. It doesn't give me as much eye strain. So if you're in somewhat of a similar situation, just go ahead and set your color correction to desaturated. And for your tone mapping, just set that to polynom. And you can pretty much just copy down what I have here. This is a custom polynomial that I've worked on. There was a time where I understood what every single option here did, but pretty much just copy it down, and the last two, that's what you use to customize this to your own preference. You can also tweak D as well, but the rest I wouldn't adjust too much because it makes the game look a bit crazy looking. So just these bottom two really. You can also play around with the rain hard tone mapping, but that's, it's more of a simplified form. It just makes the game, it makes the white more brighter. But as far as toning the color down, you definitely want to run desaturated and polynom. And the other thing I want to mention is with 1.91 being focusing on night, there's probably chances are there's going to be more night maps in rotation. So I just want to share this trick that I found out from PC players. So if you go into color correction when you get a night map and just set the PostFX to fall colors with default tone mapping, and chances are you'll probably find that you can see a lot better. It changes the game from pitch black to almost daytime, and you can actually see what's around you with this, so it's pretty crazy. Console players probably don't even know about this. I should probably tell you where to find this. So if you go into options, PostFX is hidden away in the corner here. So you bring that up with square, and then you can enter all the settings that I just showed you. But yeah, that's it for the video guys. Thanks for watching, make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.